Can I have a hug, please?
Maybe later. You need to come over here. You need to start walking and acting like
Hey
who
guys,
you
thanks for
are.
having me. And once again, thank everyone for jumping in and just speaking with me and staying and listening to my story. And really, that's what I want to deliver to you guys is my story. Um, so, like I said, during my career, I mean, I've been all these successful IT things, right? Obviously, I've had my Cisco certified network associate. I've had my network plus, my A plus, my security plus. I've had probably about 7 to 8 different company certifications. I have about 3 customer service awards for different things. Um, all of these different things, right? I want to paint a picture of my intellectual self. The reason why I wanted to paint a picture of my intellectual self is because I am about to paint a picture of someone that you you may not recognize if you know me. But I did say I was going to be real. And that's exactly what I want to bring to this. I want to bring you the real me. All right. So, as I said, I'm here to kind of tell my story a little bit, as you guys all know. Uh, Sorry as I get myself set up for the mic. Um, but as I wanted you guys, everyone to understand and know what kind of person and who I am and what knowledge of the world. Not just, I mean, Las Vegas. Lived in Las Vegas majority of my life. Um, I, I'm kind of person. I don't live in the glitz and glamour. That's probably the Kansas City person in me. Because of how I grew up. I believe in connections. I believe in friendship. I believe in strength, unity. I believe these are my core benefits of a person. Many people have different views on what that might be. Many people have different views. As those views transcribe through what we see and what we do the most, we really have to bear down and take hold of our own responsibilities. Um, this is a kind of a declaration to myself, but this is something that I've said to many people. I've kept my own history very quiet for a very long time. The person people know nowadays, uh, I was not always the man I am before you. At one time, I was a very confused person, um, not really knowing what my position was in this world. Um, what I mean by that is I didn't go to college right out of high school, right? I want to tell you what happened to me between the ages of 17 and 23. July of 93, uh, I met the mother of my oldest son. At 18, she had fire red hair. Uh, I mean, she apparently thought I was amazing. I did not understand, and for many years I didn't understand what other people saw in me. Um, it's kind of how I was treated and perceived growing up. I wasn't, you know, even though I was really really smart, that didn't wasn't put on a pedestal. I should say it was a different time. Like I said, I was born in 1975. We're also during high school, um, very undercut, very very undercut, probably because nobody was looking. Um, when I was going to school, I got straight A's, got one F because world history was so very boring. As I think it was just I think it was the subject because obviously I took government and other things, and they were a lot less boring. Just world history was very, very, very boring. Um, uh, Obviously I got that upgrade up after my mom saw it, but I probably got beat up. Uh, so like I said, 17 going into 18, I did not graduate high school. I didn't graduate high school because I was going through my own personal issues with things going on. And during those times, that I mean, I want to be straight up. This is Las Vegas around 92 to about 94. I'm really talking about. So during these times, there was a lot of gang activity. Like I said, these were the early 90s. Everything was about gang banging and shooting and being part of a crew. What were you? Blood, Crip. It was seeped in everywhere, every aspect of Las Vegas. And I do believe they really try and hide this a lot, of course, the glitz and the glamour, right? Well, I grew up on the east side of town. So, I'm going to say we went to El Dorado High School. So, during all this, we do what we do, we say what we say. We're kids, we grow up a certain way. And I kind of grew up in a neighborhood. There was about 20 of us. Um, I got some good friends out there, some people that I haven't talked to in a long time. Uh, just going to give a shout out to successful people out there. Uh, Amber, Amber, I've seen what you're doing in a business status. I love who you are. I love the seeing your kids. Jessica, you are a rock star. Always getting up, doing what you got to do. Uh, my best friend John, he is, um, he's kind of a never give up soldier. He's been through a lot of ups and downs in his life, as well as I have. But you know what? He always finds a way to stand tall. And once again, this is my best friend we're talking about, guys. We sit here and we talk about and laugh about who we are, who we were, and who we're gonna be. Me, all I want to talk about is let's fix whatever's going on. 2024 should be the year, even if it's not this year, right? You need to set realistic goals on who you want to be when you want to be. Um, so I'm going to get back to my personal story. I know I kind of was jumping around there for a quick second, but I want to get back to my personal story. My personal story is simple. Um, got into some trouble. I saw some things happening. I didn't see who I was growing up with. I interacted who I was growing up with. Um, and as we were talking about the obviously second episode, the conscious and subconscious mind, I want to bring this point up a little bit. Um, Even though I wasn't raised in like a gang environment, I was technically raised uh, by my grandmother, right? Um, And my mom, of course, my mom was always there. Yes, I'm just saying at an early age, I remember living in my grandmother's house. But despite all that, once again, I when I turned 18, I kind of lost my mind. At that point, I was already kind of known as a gang member per se. East Coast Bloods. Who would have knew? Um, well, I was definitely not raised to be a gang member. Um, again, the childhood portion and what I actually chose to do were two totally different things. Um, so there was a time where my mom didn't kind of recognize who was around and who she was dealing with. I think that's a funny thing sometimes, right? That's actually pretty hilarious. I talk to my mom now, and she just thinks I'm like the greatest thing since sliced bread. Um, yes, I mean the greatest thing since sliced bread. She doesn't know if it wasn't for her, I would not be the man I am today. So, with that in mind, let's begin. 18, met a girl, had a son. You know, wow, I'm 18, about to turn 19, and I have a kid already. You know, uh, around my birthday, it was like October, November, I actually got in trouble, so I was in jail for a little while. Um, I contacted rap for someone else, but that's a whole totally different story. I'm not gonna go down that road. I just wanted to let you guys know I was not an angel. Okay. First time I was ever in trouble. 18 years old. Who knew? And I took the rap for someone else. At that point, my life kind of took a direction change. Um, I started noticing I was actually becoming the bad boy, right? Not even realizing this is the persona I chose to do. Despite getting straight A's in school, speaking the way I speak, what I and the point of all this, and the point of me telling you about my past, is that was me trying to fit in with my environment. As we were talking about the conscious and subconscious mind, in my subconscious mind, that was my survival instinct. Become like your environment. Even though, my conscious mind was like, oh, yeah, I want this. This is cool. This is cool. I never had an example to teach me that I was special before that point. I mean, my mom said it a lot, blah, 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 but it's different when, someone else comes to you and tell you, you know, you should be in a way higher grade than what you're in. Um, Obviously, I love my mom, but she did it. She didn't want me to be singled out, right? When I was younger. And I appreciate that. I do, to some degree. With everything that has happened in my life, so after my son was born, I kind of had a short, stint. So we're gonna fast forward about 2 years, a year and a half, right? So of course, by that time, I had already started experimenting with drugs. Uh, Methamphetamines was the. I mean, we kind of did a little bit of everything, but I was never like addicted to anything. We just kind of partied with, it, right? Even in high school, um, it was something new at the time. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. Um, we did it, and it was like, oh no, it goes away quick. So okay, cool. During these times, we didn't know what we were getting into during that. It's Vegas. We're just partying. We're teenagers. I mean, not really teenagers, but we're out of high school. We're adults. We're like 20. 20s going on 21. This is awesome. So once again, during that time, that led me to actually steal a car, get arrested. Uh, and this was not just one. I just want to make that clear. But without with those arrests, what they did was I ended up going to jail. I was actually looking at a maximum of 10 years with the charges that they were putting against me. So, with that thought process in mind, and talking about the charges and how they brought them upon me, of course, on me. So, I have all these multiple charges on me, and you know, yeah, I took a deal. They gave me the ability to take boot camp and not go to prison, be able to do 6 months in boot camp. If I succeeded, they would drop it to a gross misdemeanor, but I would be on parole, and obviously a probation. If I completed probation, obviously I'd be good to go. That should have scared my ass straight. Because guess what? I went to boot camp. I completed it. I did everything I needed to do, and I got back out. You know, and just so you know, by that time, on my 21st birthday, I uh, was in locked up for my 21st birthday. But when I got out, I'm sure, obviously there was a lot of people ready to celebrate with me. Like I said, I grew up in Las Vegas. I know a lot of different people. I know Sereños, I know Norteños, I know, Bloods, Crips, what previously used to be called the Gerson, friends in there. I got friends that were, I mean, not the, now what I'm talking about right now are like these hardcore gangsters that people are saying, I know these people. These people came over my house. These people ate dinner. I could walk in their house and their mother knew who I was. These are these people. I was always the odd man out my whole life. Trust me, it did not just start today. Been the odd man out because I think one thing is I was always genuine. I was very respectful. This is something that I was taught at a very, very early age. And if I didn't, it would be very bad repercussions because of this. Um, Not going to talk about that at this point in time, but I want to make that clear, guys. So, with that thought process in mind, um, uh, all the people that instituted and helped me become who I am. So I knew all these people I interacted with, on a regular basis. Like I said, I grew up with them, with high school, knew their parents. My sister dated a Sereno, I knew a lot of different people, right? Like I said, we grew up with these people. Many different scenarios where we interacted with it in a negative way, but when it came to us, it was never we would never fight each other. We were a small knit family, even though we may come from the different sides of the tracks. We come from a very small knit family, and I want to emphasize that word. As everyone knows, I have listed this under family and technology, and the technology will not just be me speaking. I promise you, I'll throw in some landscapes of technology, some work I do out there on these everyday streets in Las Vegas that I don't really talk about because I'm trying to move forward in my own business. This is to talk about and to give a voice to the inside of Las Vegas and to tell you about its history. With those thought processes in mind, now I want everybody to know it is February 29th, 2024. So before we jump into March, I really wanted to get this out there for everyone. I wanted you guys to get a solid on leap year. I really wanted you guys to have more of this and to really take a hold. and get to know me a little bit better. So, with that, as always, with that thought process in mind, bringing forward a new piece and new tragedy that could happen to anyone. I get out at 21 after boot camp, do what I'm supposed to be doing. I got a good job, start doing things. Things happen bad. I lose my car. Other things happen. Guess what? Back to prison. This time, no boot camp. I'm going to the real deal. Entry into that, into the boot camp. Um, crazy, crazy time for me. Crazy time. So everyone, I'm not gonna get into obviously my time in prison. Uh, Definitely not gonna talk about that right now. But I'm gonna say this much. After about mm, I would think I was on yard for maybe about 8 to 9 months, maybe longer, maybe a little bit longer. I didn't get in trouble. But at one point, I was in Ely. Um, I actually got transferred back down to Ely. Is a very scary place. I'm just gonna tell everyone that. I don't care how tough you are. It is a scary place. Um, After obviously, um, have being good and not doing doing what I was supposed to be doing because I was there for a nonviolent crime. I got shipped to what they call camp, fire camp, because I applied for fire camp, obviously. And they accepted me because of I've been doing well and I was kind of still short. So they gave me since my sentence, I only had about uh, a year and maybe a couple months left on my sentence. I was able to go. So, and that allowed me to work, to make more money, to work out, allowed me a little bit more freedom. If that's what you call it. But if they obviously you got to see outside a whole lot more, like outside of the prison cells. Obviously, we drove into town. We were the fire crew, so I'm like I said, during all this in my life, after that, that led to me, doing that on the side. After leaving prison, that kind of led me to that. But that taught me a very valuable lesson, that I didn't know before that, and I want everyone to understand this. Don't judge me based off of what you already know about me. Don't judge me based off of what you thought about me. This is about getting to know me. That's the difference. So that same person that you talk to, whenever you talk to him, that guy that you like, Mike, you are so square, you are so white, and the things people have been telling me my whole life, you know, uh, and I don't hold nothing against my brothers and sisters, uh, in Black America. Believe you me, a person can say whatever they want, but the struggle is real, and however people come out, come out. I got some people that are still in the mess and getting everything done. But let's go back to what we were really talking about. Like I said, after everything was done, the fire crew, after this time, it's like the whole world changed. It seems like all my friends moved on. They all went and started doing things that they were doing everything else. Um, After that, uh, I got put in a halfway house because I didn't want to parole to my mother's house. So I got into a halfway house. That halfway house found me a job. I was working um, right up until I got out of the halfway house, and by that time I was actually had some money saved up. Uh, I was, met a couple people, was living with friends, at the time, actually paroled to a friend's house. She really looked out for me over through the years. Somebody I met through my cousin James. That's a whole different story. I want to give a shout out to the homie Paula. Thank you. Thank you for being my friend when I didn't know what friendship truly, truly was and the depths of it. Um, but once again, with that and how everything transcribes and portals play, Las Vegas is not what people think. Not inner Las Vegas. Not when you're going to school here or living here or being here. Um, so I want to make all that clear. Now, enough talking about the bad stuff because I was already feeling a certain way about talking about the bad stuff, but I had to help you understand the extreme of who I am and who I have been. Um, so at this point, in my life, I'm probably like 23 years old. Uh, I'm a ex felon. I don't have any rights. I got a couple of choices on getting jobs, maybe. Being a trash man. No. Um, Getting in a casino at that point was a no go too. Well, not really, but I've never been a casino type of person. I never wanted to be limited to working in Las Vegas. I wanted traits that I built outside of Las Vegas, even though I lived here. Henceforth, the IT stuff. Like I said, I built cabinets for a little while. Um, the cabinets actually helped me pay the bills for a long time. Uh, Me, Wayne, John, Junior, little Mike. I mean Mike, which is Wayne's little brother. Which my condolences, bro, to all the Carreras. My condolences. There's no way he should have been taken from us so early. My One of my close friends, Wayne's little brother, that recently passed away. I just want to say you will be missed, little bro. You will. And his twin Michelle, she's still doing it, doing her thing. I know sometimes I be quiet to all my friends out there, and I doubt if any of them will ever hear this podcast. They probably don't even realize what I'm doing or what I got going on. Being real, but I want to give thanks to the people that have always been around and been there for me, and that are truly in my heart forever. And I love you guys. Till the end of time, I love you guys. But at that point, I had done way too much and had still been doing drugs, just not as, obviously apparent. Again, I was never really addicted to them. It was like party drugs, Um, never really working and doing drugs, it's not who I was. During those times, that brings up a very delicate time frame for me right now. And um, so I lost my job doing the woodworking. Uh, I was pretty much, at a standstill. I was like, I can't keep this up. I can't keep losing jobs and gaining jobs and losing jobs and gaining jobs. But I felt like doing that woodwork, even though it was very, very satisfying for me personally, I feel like it how the work wasn't consistent. That's where you could be fired at any time, and nobody was willing to give, say an ex felon a director level job. It didn't matter how smart you were, how good you were. You were a black man in a labor environment. Think about it. Once again, everyone, I have never, ever been standard. I've always been exceed everything. And it doesn't matter what I do in life. I'm just that kind of person. Now, I don't do that for any like I'm trying to be better than someone. It's not like that. It's more or less like if I'm going to show somebody what I can do, I give it my all. And that was something I was taught at a very early age, no matter what that is. So when I did that, when I started applying that to my life, to what I do, what I wanted to do, and I started seeing the results, it changed the man. It started changing me into the man that I am today. Those results created an epic beginning. Um, I told my mom I wanted to go back to school. I've been nullifying over this for weeks. What do I want to go to school for? I kind of had narrowed it down between uh like like medical stuff or maybe like some science type of stuff. I wasn't really sure, didn't understand. I was just so distraught. I was like, what do I want to go to school for? My mother says, why don't you go to school for computers? You like computers so much. Now, at that point, I think everybody understood that I can't believe that just happened. Who would have known 25 years later, I'd be one of the top network engineers on the West Coast. I've been the subject matter expert for all wireless communications internationally. Uh, Huawei, learning Huawei and that system. That is a very Chinese system. I actually have several certifications in Huawei and switching and routing. Again, we're talking about high end level networking here. I was the one configuring the towers and building and setting up the network and designing it. I mean, not really designing it because they had obviously like higher up network engineers actually doing those designs. Me, it was pretty much commission. But after so long, you're known as the subject matter expert. Pretty soon, not anyone else knows what you know. When that happened, that is where I lied, or not lied, but laid. Oh, there you go. There you go. I said that wrong. I apologize. I don't do that very often. But once again, um, that led me into the career and into the purpose that I'm dwelling in today. Even that technology and me being astounding led me to want to be a business owner because I can learn things at such a level in such a short period of time. This technique has helped me master, learn, and grow. All right, so I'm going to cut this one short, guys, and I'm going to say thank you for listening, and everyone, have a wonderful day.